Welcome back, everyone, to Recorder on the Wall. We're sleepwalking through each Redwall book, and um, Martin visited me in my dreams and said it was time to start the podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sleepy Time Jeremy, and with me today is Sleepy Time Abbott Pete and Sleepy Time pun counter and Redwall historian KD, and also Sleepy Time librarian Matthias. Hi,
No sleeping in the
everyone.
library. No sleeping in the library. Wake up, wake up.
Uh, duh, duh. No, I'm not sleeping. I'm studying the inside of my eyes. Yay.
Oh no, he's back to sleep.
Well, while he does, yes, I am Avid Pete, and yeah, we're at part two of Marlfox. That's any of them. And when we left off, Marlfox is dead. By Zero, we barely got to know you.
Yes, I think this is the problem that I have with the abridged audiobooks. I don't listen to them as much because I don't like them as much, because it just cuts out all the fun stuff. But I think it's Zyril, but I like Zyril better, so I don't know. I do not object to Zyril.
By the way, did we mispronounce any name completely badly last time?
No, you did not. Like, I mean, some of them were like subtly different than how Jake said it, but like nothing where I was like, huh, that's not one I've thought of before.
Yay! We win.
And I want to bring up a point I know you and I had discussed on the text chain, but no one brought up. One point, Craiga wipes someone's face to get an emotional read.
Yeah, I've discussed that before. Don't do it, authors, please. Please don't do it. It's weird.
Hi, Train. Always when I'm recording.
Well, yes. It's the Marlfox train. One of the cars has been cruelly slashed from the train.
The train isn't mourning. Mourn the train.
So darn those jangler decouplers. But yes, when we left off, the Marlfoxes were now at war with Redwall, not just thieving, and they're going to take the tapestry, because that's never been done before.
And a bunch of 12-year-olds went after them.
And as previously mentioned, this is now Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah. I gotta say, Russell's reaction in this book, like, I drove Dan to it. Yes, you did. I do not feel sympathy for you at all.
Yeah.
And as I pointed out previously, they're like, songs like, oh, Martin says we have to go and not tell our parents we have to obey. No, you don't.
Dan, are you sure that's not the concussion talking?
But Martin is basically God, okay? If God tells you to do something, you've got to do it, right?
I mean, it's fate or you're Percy Jackson. I don't know.
Perhaps.
I have never read those books. I just saw the first terrible movie, and I never want to see it again. So
the books are better than the movie. The movie is terrible.
So I've been told. Then again, I watched Aragon as well, not by choice.
Golden Compass.
I
haven't seen any of those things.
But back to Redwall. We pick up in there before let's get this right out of the way.
How anthropomorphic are they?
Yeah, how anthropomorphic are they? Very. All of the chapter art, with the exception of one, and I want to go over it when we get to this chapter, is all the anthro. Oh my, yeah, everybody stands on 2 feet, everybody is fully clothed, with one exception. Chapter 15, Fenno is nearly naked, and...
Wait, what?
and he looks very much like a feral shrew.
Okay, is that some sort of commentary on the eviler you are, the less anthropomorphic you are?
Or that's the way the artist
Mocan actually is pretty standard, so maybe. So wait, Fenno's more evil than Mocan.
I guess. What are you talking about? Mocan's not evil. He's a saint. He's an angel.
Perhaps it's a commentary on the pseudo-communist nature of the Gausm. I don't know.
You know, we're going with that. Okay.
Maybe
There's no way
Shadow
we could
just
be
has
reading.
an interesting life choice, and we need
Yeah.
to stop judging him for it.
There's no way we could be reading too much into this. We're only adults analyzing children's literature.
Yes, but we're having fun while doing so.
Oh yes.
You mean it's insignificant that Martin and Rose never got together? You mean that it's for nothing? You're gonna
What
make
are you
me
talking
cry.
about? They totally. Oh wait, wrong. Sorry, I was thinking of fanfic. Too much fanfic.
I see you're doing research ahead of time.
I'm
So,
doing research. It's super fun.
Yes.
What are you talking about? I'm
I've been
totally working.
I've been poking around fanfiction.net as well.
Fun,
Anyway,
fun.
back to the point. Mokan is watching his siblings as they all regroup after their battle, and he's got this big evil smile on his face if you believe the chapter art of 14.
When Mokan gets
Yes.
in the tree, Mokan gets sneaky.
Yes.
This kind of reminds me of Risconza, just kind of feeling things out before he makes an action. Like he's like, I'm just gonna pretend that I am urgently telling people to, help the captains, but I'm gonna leave it until too late.
And
What
I
do
do. Sorry, go ahead.
What are you guys talking about? The chapter art. That's not Mokan in a tree. That's a rare Marlfox fruit, right for the picking.
Yes, but this one is full of ham.
Well, that's
so I'm not
very
sure it's-
good for him.
So I'm not sure how good it's really going to be. Mokan is a very good actor. I am legit surprised here.
Oh, the pain! Oh, I'm wounded. I may
So-
never walk again.
Yeah, he walks into his siblings' camp pretending to be wounded, and only Vannon kind of sees through it. However, I do want to point out one of their siblings is dead, and I mean the reactions are very different.
I think wasn't it Vannon who like kind of gasped and was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, our sister's dead?"
Wait, yeah, she's the only one who's like, oh, a sister is dead, because Asgard's like, well,
That happened.
Yeah. My princess won't be pleased to hear that. Where's Mokan? And Giltor's pissed off. Yeah, that's what he does. And then there Mokan makes his entrance. He's like, oh, I'm okay. I'm not okay.
He
Not
plays
right.
them like a fiddle.
It's not the narrator. R8 says Mokan never apologizes before. He's always arrogant. He never makes up for it. No, I could believe that.
You'd think a bunch of backstabbing siblings would be more suspicious of Mokan's sudden change of attitude. He's never
Yeah.
been like this before. Well, what do you think is gonna happen, nitwits?
Oh yeah,
Well, as we slowly learn, Giltor is definitely not the brightest of the bunch.
no.
So him believing it, I can believe that I'm not too suspicious of. But yeah, Vannon at least is like, well, I have a backup plan, but too bad her backup plan is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
She assigns one rat to watch Mokan.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
So, and we should start a counter here because Mokan keeps telling himself never trust a vixen.
Ding! +1.
Yep.
Which, you know what, considering the track records of Sela, Arcella, and Fortunata, yeah, that's not a bad saying.
Nightshade.
What was her name? What was her name? Our vermin terrible couple all the way back in Dominic.
Silvermord.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. Although
Actually, I think the only trustworthy one so far was, I can't remember her name, but the one in Outcast Redwall.
Nightshade. She definitely did like double cross. What's the? Oh no,
yeah, that-
Balefur. I was like,
that
no,
was-
my red wall cred is going away. I can't remember.
But well, she was very loyal to Swart, though.
She was,
she,
yes.
she was doing that in service to him, so I'll give her points for loyalty to him. Considering Sela was like, I'm gonna double and triple cross everyone, and oh, that's a big badger about to punch me in the face.
that's all right. I'll just go back to Clooney. He won't suspect that. Oh.
That's a dagger in my stomach. That's not good.
But back to the hand in hand. We get with our three of the four teens that run off because you yelled at me, Dad.
here anymore. Actually, it's a little bit
Seriously,
better
though.
than
Seriously though, I cannot overstate how much I am mad at Russell for what he said because no, bad.
that. Yeah, he's a schmuck.
No one's going to
Jangler
disagree.
is definitely the best father in this entire book. I'd say he's the best parent in this book. Well, actually, no, Rimrose and Eleo are pretty cool too.
Yeah, I would say Jangler is contender for like best father in the entire franchise, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Not that we have many of those.
yeah,
Yeah, we don't, but
he is definitely one of the best. There are very few. I can think of oh god, the father from Mossflower, Stickle. What's his name?
oh, Ben Stickle?
Ben.
Yeah, he's
Ben
good.
Stickle. He was a good dad.
I mean, we could make a huge argument about all these angry parents going to rescue in Matameo, but
This is true. Matthias was a good dad. I mean, it wasn't his fault that he was drugged.
No.
Yes.
I was going to
And
say,
it sounds like Orlando was a very good father too.
I would say honorable mention goes to Earthstripe. He tried, he really did, but he didn't know what he was doing.
A for effort.
And
Yeah, it's
Laura was a
you
brat.
can't.
I'm sorry, she
You can't-
was.
She was more of the like, I don't want to live here. You're not my real dad.
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
don't understand me. Let me dye my center straight purple. It expresses who I am on the inside.
Let's get back to the story.
The Log in Salamandastron was a good father too.
Oh yeah.
So there we go. There's a couple scattered here and there.
There are. Sorry, I started that tangent. I do apologize.
No,
That's
no.
all right.
Let's get to it.
We should definitely do a episode where we talk about like the best and worst parents in the series.
Oh, we will.
I'm
Towards
making
the
a
end.
list. I'm making a list of best and worst everything.
I do want to point out, we get something that's almost straight out of The Hobbit here. No, Lord of the Rings, where it's like, where it's almost what a straight up. What about? Yes, we've had breakfast. What about second breakfast? Coming from
Yes.
Dippler. The teenagers break out into their rations, and yeah, Dippler is well, he's got a gut for a reason.
I do like it's not arguing or moaning, it's debating.
Yes.
And
And
he also go ahead.
We got shrew manners.
Oh,
Just like,
that's where I was going. Yeah,
oh, okay.
Song number 1.
of 9 in this section.
Number 9.
Number 1 is shrew manners that Dippler makes up on the spot, and he basically says that good manners among shrews is hey, steal the food.
Yeah. I do love the comment of, didn't you learn table manners? No, because we don't use tables.
Yes.
I mean,
That
that's
was
solid
good.
mole logic. I'll grant him that.
that was really good.
But it continues on and the three continue on the journey, but they're still trying to chase down the tapestry, which means they're heading towards Marlfox's, because that'll go well.
Yeah.
Wow. I do like the fact that Song is kind of the one that knows the most about tracking in the woods, and that would make sense because that's where she was raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Her
mean,
parents probably taught her really well, like all the
aside
stuff.
from aside from Dan, who's spent the last 3 seasons at Redwall,
Mhm.
yeah, these guys don't live at Redwall. They're used to forest traveling.
Yep.
And that just leaves back at the Abbey where they're burying people. Oh, that's
Mhm.
sad.
Yep.
Nutwing. Long
Yeah, that
Aw.
was sad.
And the brother of the otter. Aw.
Yeah, Elichim, I think. So it's pronounced.
I think it was Elikim, but
Oh,
I'd
okay.
take it either way.
Yeah, okay.
So I do have to love this line where our chief medical officer Slowy is like, "Oh, with looking after the Dibbins and getting things tidy, I forgot about my injured ones." Well, darn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a. Oh, right. You're the doctor. You had one job.
She definitely had a Zoidberg moment there. She walks up to one of the mice. All right, Mr. Hedgehog, what's wrong with you? I'm a mouse. Hey, I'm the doctor here. I do like Skipper taking charge too, when everyone needs to get moving again, and it makes sense because he's Skipper of the Otters. He's like one of the only real leaders, like official leaders around here.
Yeah, I mean, his Holt may be on away on a vacation, on a tropical vacation, but he's got stuff to do. And we also get Kriega's like, I always love it from Kriega where they're like, "Hey, we're gonna load you into this cart because you need to like go up to the infirmary." And it's like, "No, you're not. No,
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I'm blind, not helpless."
and Florian tries to placate her. She grabs Florian, storms out of the gatehouse, throws him into the cart, and kicks it down a hill.
Yeah, that's a badger for you.
Editing this? I'm sorry.
That's
Katie.
a little bit of the old Kriega coming out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't make Kreka smash. You wouldn't like her when she smashes.
No. And we already got to see that a little bit in book 1 with, "Hey, did you know there's half a spear in your neck?"
Yeah.
And no good. Dwapple's awake.
Yay.
Dwapple versus Florian. Eat.
Dwapple's about on par with what was the squidgy baby one in Martin the Warrior?
Dinger?
Which one?
Ginger? I think.
Dinger, yeah.
go with that, yeah.
Dwapple and Dinger, they're about on par with each other.
Except that Dinger actually came around to respecting Martin. So
Sort of.
Remember he ran up to him and started smacking him with a stick, and so his mom spanked him?
Right. Well, the point is, he got a comeuppance, okay? Dwapple has yet to get that.
This is true. I mean, he did get kidnapped and, but yeah, it's true. And apparently he hasn't learned anything from it because he gets worse in this section.
I was gonna say, does Jake's want us to think that this is cute or charming or?
I don't know. It's neither.
Yeah,
You know
neither
what?
cute nor charming.
Yeah.
The 10-car pileup just got another 5 cars and a tractor trailer.
Maybe it's don't do what this kid does, considering at one point he hides inside an oven.
Yeah.
We here at the Recorder on the Wall do not endorse child abuse, but we would find a little physical correction is greatly warranted here.
But I wonder if they could, make a bargain with the Marlfoxes and get whatever the heck they use to knock him out.
Oh, they may be out of a Sister May special.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah,
So,
Slowy, get on it. There's got to be something in there that, well, granted, considering how Redwall keeps their records, I don't know if they'd be able to find it.
Also, we get the evidence that the teens are gone.
Yep.
And yeah, Jangler's like, "Hey, that Russell's is responsible for this. Great. So we should probably get the kids back."
Oh, look, there's some Marlfoxes outside. Guess that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure that won't go on. And then that just brings us to chapter 15, like I said, with the nearly naked Fenno on all fours.
So we have, and it also kicks
He's not
off
wearing
with,
pants. He's nearly naked.
Yep. Well, it also kicks off with Mokan strangling a rat to death. So there's your kid-friendly fun.
The one that
Vannon
chose to watch her brother. Hey, he or she, I can't have Bilu.
I think it's a he.
It's a he, I think.
Well, he just he's like, "Hey, where are you going, boss?"
Yep.
Did you keep an eye on him? Yeah, I watched him as he strangled me to death. Didn't turn out too well.
Wait, I'm dead?
Bye, Bilu. We barely got to know you because you were literally named in the previous chapter, and now you're dead.
Yep. And then Mokan's like, fee fi fo fum. I smell a shrew out them. And
Boss, don't try to rhyme. You're not any good at it.
What?
I would mention as a water rat. Boss, stop trying to rhyme. You're no good at it.
Yep.
And so Mokan grabs Fenno and beats him up and holds the axe next to his throat and is like, "So, where are the other shrews? I'm alone. I know you're not lying because what idiot would lie to me? So now, you're going to help me. Okay." And you know
I have
what?
to ask, what kind of HR does Marlfoxes have? I think Castle Marl must have some because it's ADA compliant. So,
I don't know. But
I don't think they have HR. I think they have a union that takes the
Okay.
place of HR, and they probably put in those ramps as a deterrent for I don't know, litigation against people falling downstairs.
I was gonna say what they did was they did that to make themselves look compliant, and then the person in the wheelchair that told them to do it then got rolled down those stairs into a wall, and that's the end of them.
Oh, that's dark.
I was thinking
We
it
just
maybe
covered a
because
part of someone being strangled to death.
Right. It may be because Silt was complaining about how much the litter was being jarred as they were going up and down the stairs, so she demanded that they put in ramps to make it more smooth.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Well, and Fenno also tells Moken, hey, this is the best one because it belonged to Logalog that I killed. Oh, you killed him?
So Moken's all right. Destroy the rest.
And Fenno may be a traitor to his own people, but knowing how long it would take to carve one of those boats, you know his heart probably sank watching as they got destroyed.
Yeah, probably.
From this
Though
point
he's
forward,
also kind of focused on not getting his head chopped off right now.
from this point forward, I feel zero sympathy for Fenno, and all his future suffering will bring me very great pleasure.
And
Yes.
thus the kids catch right up to Moken as he leaves, and they just long enough to not see them, basically miss them, and Dippler sees his own boat has been destroyed.
Poor guy.
And now he's just marked up to getting even with Fenno to ultra vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You killed his baby. There will be nothing you can do.
Dippler Wick.
I would like to point out good thinking on Song's part to bring a copy of Sam Kim's riddle with them.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense that she's the one that brought it. She seems to be like the logical one of the group.
Yeah, maybe she would be a good leader of something sometime.
That's something.
Huh.
That's not a bad idea.
Well, I
Well, I
mean, she'll have to check job boards somewhere, but
Gotta go to monster.com for Redwall. Abbott needed experience. Oh. Back at Redwall, we kind of get Bizarro land here where the Marlfoxes go like, hey, that Jangler dude killed one of us. Send him out and we'll be happy to leave. And so Jangler's like, I'm going to go kill them more. And Roosevelt, for some reason, shows common sense here. And on an unrelated note, when I was reading this section, a pig flew outside.
huh.
Wait, what? You're telling me I can go by that bridge now?
Yes.
Winged bacon. But yes, it's officially it's at war, and Skipper, in one of the better moments, he outright calls Geltor's like, "Oh, you want war? Okay, we're peace-loving creatures until we get attacked. So start digging your graves, because it's not like we haven't killed who? Let me count here: Sarmina, Swart, Grey Patch, Clooney, Slagger, Unget, and Damug. You sure about this?"
Damug didn't even reach here. And by the way, we've got the one that killed him staying in the Abbey right now.
Would you like to meet our badger mom?
We're just going to give her a couple weapons, point her in a direction, and after she drops the weapons, she'll strangle you to death.
Okay, truce.
It's like one of the-
truce.
It's like one of those kids' toys where you pull it back, it winds up the spring, and you release it, and it just goes zooming forward. Just do that with Krega. It's like, Krega,
Aim and shoot.
here's a giant spear and maybe a sword. We're just gonna point you in that direction and say, go get him.
And
they do kind of do something similar to that in the next section of the book, but we'll get
They
there.
do.
yes, Redwall is at war, and I gotta say, for this whole section, they are. I mean, not just because they have veteran warriors on hand, but they're a lot quicker to adapt to enemy strategy than pretty much a lot of other books we've seen. Like, yeah, maybe Matthias was doing it instinctually, but all of Redwall is not dumb when it comes to repelling Marlfoxes here. So
This is true.
Props.
Yeah. They outwit the Marlfoxes in multiple engagements throughout this whole section of the book.
Remember, these guys are supposed to be crafty secret foxes that keep rolling 1 on their disguise checks.
I think with them, the Marlfox. I think it also helps showcase that the Marlfoxes are really good with sneaking around, stealing, and actually, hand-to-hand fighting for the most part. But they don't really know how to go to war, or they don't really have good siege strategies.
No.
No, they don't.
They're no
Like,
Clooney.
No,
Well, I mean, they're thieves. Thieves aren't known for, going out and saying, "Here I am. I'm going to steal everything that belongs to you now."
Meanwhile,
true.
Dwapple is still being annoying.
Aleo, though, gets to be awesome here, where Roosevelt is like, "Oh, Dan ran off, and it's my fault. Do you think he'll ever forgive me?" And Aleo's like, "He will. He's not a stubborn idiot like you are."
Hey!
She didn't say it exactly like that, but yeah.
I think it was, he's not stubborn and unmoving like his father.
Yes.
And,
That's great.
And even, like I said, and then Red Walrus still operate even when they're under siege. Hey, well, we gotta make beds, someone's gotta cook food, and someone's gotta go tend to the coilers in the wine cellar. Sorry. And leaving Florian alone to babysit Dwapple.
And I kind of have to side with Dwapple on this one. Florian is a rotten old rabbit in my book. I mean, he deserves his non-existent army. He's like, okay, I'm going to train you all. You can't actually train anybody because you don't have any experience. Doesn't matter. I'm going to do it anyway. Can I be excused? I need to go tend the kitchens. Oh, yeah, we need food. And I need to go tend all the lamps and such. Well, yeah, we want to be able to see. And one by one, they just... Nobody left. Yeah. There's your army. You deserve it.
Leaving him alone with Dwapple, who is doing one of those toddler temper tantrums and kicking and flailing on the floor.
Because Florian took his paddle or whatever, and Deezum's like, "I hope it's worth it." And he took his paddle, and Florian's like, "Bloomin' paddle's all I got left to command over here." So Florian then kind of shows we quickly learn that Florian is not a master of war like the Hares we've seen in the previous book. He's kind of like the anti-Paragord in that regard, because he's like, "Hey guys, they keep putting all these flammable things near the wooden door. I can't figure out why they're doing that."
Yeah.
I mean, even compared to Basil, who we can probably reasonably assume has seen combat at one point, even if he's not Salamandastron trained. Yeah, Florian is, more of a civvy, by far.
That being said, I do like him.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't, because he is a great source of physical comedy to come. I'm saving what happens to him at one point when it comes up, because it's hilarious.
I was gonna say, you guys mentioned that he was kind of editing the book to make himself look better. I think he missed that part.
Yeah.
Well, I think he misses a big part later on.
Yeah.
Actually, I came up with a theory for that part. I think I know who might have made that edit.
Oh.
We'll get when we get there.
Yeah.
So
the kids are out. Meanwhile, and they discover basically, with spoilers, it's the fourth. It's the fourth teenager to sign up with them. It's a water vole. Hey, do we like water voles? I don't remember. Our history's kind of mixed with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said I have a scale for voles. It's a scale from Rolo to Droop. Where Rolo's at the top and Droop is way, 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 way down at the bottom.
And I'm not sure I like the verbal tick they give him. So
yes. But that verbal tick reminds me of the aliens from Sesame Street, the Yip Yips. So it's only logical to call the water voles the Yis Yis.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes. Uh-huh.
We have a tribe of water voles who pretty much copied major sections of the Gosum. Works for me.
We then find out that they revere the stick with the green stone in it that Song has been carrying around, and I came up with a fan theory about this thing because she found it just kind of lying around like a shed in Redwall. My theory is Gonf just put this thing together back in the day with some tape and silly glue, and then spread a rumor about how awesome it was, and the legend grew to the ridiculousness that it is today.
There you go.
Works for me.
It kind of reminded me of the stick that Reza had, but then Rosano ended up with that one. So I was like, I don't know.
Well, the artwork for it makes it look like it's been embedded in the tip with the bark peeled back. It's like it's some kind of weird green amber that naturally occurs inside the wood or something.
Mm-hmm.
And the water voles call it leafwood, or the leafwood. And basically, while we're outright told by Burble, who's the 14, by the way, we haven't mentioned his name, that the water voles tend to make their decisions by council, we have a unnamed one called Grey Whiskers who pretty much calls himself Chieftain, and he's just like, you want to give me that? If you give me that green stick, I'll totally give you a boat because, it'll help me solidify my leadership. And there's my brain running to Monty Python. True executive power comes from a mandate from the masses, not some tart squirrel handing out leafwoods. I'm sorry, Song.
I went in the opposite direction. Yeah. All I could think of was, welcome to Honest Vol's really good keels. What'll it take to get you and Blake?
He's the used boat salesman.
Exactly. At your price range, the paddles are optional.
Oh gosh. Yeah, this one's definitely more of a droop.
Yes.
Yeah, but basically it's hey, if you'll trade us the leafwood, we'll give you a boat. Well, what about that one? No, that one's not for sale. But we like that one. No, it's not for sale.
It's our floor model.
But yeah, they take him in, and we get we also had a song in there. What's it called?
2 songs actually.
Well, there's a Riverhead jig called the Kamalia, which gathers the tribe. Yeah.
And then Song does a song.
Yeah, I guess I just named right.
I just wrote down 2 songs in the same chapter. The chapter can't take it, Captain. It don't have the page space.
So yeah, they to their credit, the water voles do give them hospitality, and that's what you'd expect from quote unquote heroes. Until the next morning, we'll get to that because now we're at the island again with High Queen.
And cue the Scooby-Doo theme.
Ghost!
No, just the regular kind of ghost.
Oh. Looks like we have a Marlfox-sized mystery on our hands, gang.
Jinkies.
Zoinks! I don't know where we're gonna find enough food.
Marlfoxy-doo! So, also, I have to point out, thanks to all of our voice ideas for Sylph, now jumping between like Palpatine and Rita Repulsa, and as the idea of Pete suggested, now whenever I read her lines in the book, my brain just kind of jumps between all 3.
We'll get to our third one later with the later scene. I kind of want to save it for that.
Okay, no worries. Oh my gosh.
I thought you'd think that was the best idea.
Yeah, that I did have one line written here in my notes, but I could save it.
It's up to you.
I will. You know what? Actually, it'll work for that section too. I will hang on to this line because I'm very happy with it.
So Sylph is seeing a white ghost, except that it's a white sheep. It like this is Lancer's not even trying. Yes, it is told that it is flecked with fish scales to make it more luminous, and it's black charcoal and red dye to make out the face, to make it look like earth white. And Lancer's just playing a harmless prank on her mother, right? Hey, Mom? Mom? Did you have a heart attack again?
Meanwhile, Earth White's just sitting in the afterlife watching this going like, oh my god. What are they doing?
And there's Clooney in the afterlife, like, I actually saw Martin in my dreams. Lady, you have... Come on, you can do better than this.
And the Gabool's just sitting there like, they're all the bell is out to get me. It's jumping around. I can see it.
Hey,
And
Gabool, you're dead.
I'm not dead. No. I'll never die. No, you won't get me, Mr. Bell.
Oh, Gabool.
who's Sylph gonna call? I know, bad reference. Sorry. I do love. I have to almost. There was something about Lancer's like, oh, maybe this is the spirit of an enemy you killed. Oh, I wouldn't call him an enemy. He did snore. Lousy cook. Are you talking about Dad? No.
Tasted really good, though.
But yes, the daughter's trying to drive her mother insane, like she needed help.
That's a short trip.
Queen Sylph, in her infinite desire to be surrounded by pretty things and beauty and peace and calm, is that lady we all know who has an immaculate sitting room that no one uses. It's for guests to look at and marvel at how pretty it is, but only because it's been properly occupied twice and wants to move in the furniture and dust it only once a week to keep it pretty.
Canon accepted.
Yeah, there you go.
So I have to say, Marlfox camo is really terrible because Red Wallers can see them while they're in the forest.
Do like the whatever the heck the hench rat's name is, where he's like, "Don't worry, boss lady, I'm gonna."
Dackle. Dackle.
Huh? Did you know you have an arrow sticking out of your head? Oh no.
And credit to Vannon, compared to a lot of famous literature turned TV characters in recent years, she knows to serpentine when running away.
Yep. And and they don't give up trying to burn the place. And I think my favorite moment here is where Skipper shoots an arrow that goes through a rat.
Yes.
There's a lot of big death moments in this. There's like crazy things like, oh my god, they just did that.
We're also told that the Red Wallers have better equipment than the bad guys.
I could
Even
see
if
them
that
having
equipment
plenty of
is older than everybody.
Hmm?
Even if that equipment is older than everybody.
This is true. I could see a lot of this stuff being left over from like the battle and the Long Patrol, where they just kind of kept it put aside. And they even mentioned the Long Patrol that they had a bunch of weapons sitting around. So these longbow, you know what? In my head, these longbows came from the team from Mariel of Redwall. They were just very well kept.
Okay.
Now somebody needs to laugh really annoyingly as they shoot it at one of the rats.
No, we don't. Because Red Waller's like, hey, they're trying to burn down one of our side wall gates. Okay, well, we can deal with this. They open the wall gate. They have the moles clear all the flammable stuff. They douse the wall gate in water, so it's very hard to light. And they close back and close the wall gate.
Yep.
Maybe you should try that on the main gate there, Marlfoxes. But yes, this is where Skipper shoots one through an arrow through a rat.
Yeah, that was just okay. Skipper's strong.
Yeah, and yeah, Geltor is sad that he didn't get to burn things. Oh,
Geltor is as overconfident as Mokan is trustworthy.
and Vannon kind of gives him some ribbing, but your siblings, you're snarky at each other, right?
All siblings have death wishes against each other, right? Right? Oh.
Yeah, probably.
You mean you don't? Oh, wait, I don't have any siblings. What would I know?
I do.
Anymore.
Oh.
You weren't supposed to know about that.
I didn't. You just told me.
What?
So we're back with the teenagers who wake up earlier than the rest of the entire tribe, and Burble wants to join them. Hey, can I come?
They're
Sure.
Sure, Burble, I'm sure you haven't taken anything that will make them all want to kill us. No, I haven't. By the way, here's your leafwood pack.
The three kids are like, well, we know he won't really trade it for us in good faith, so we're just gonna go and take the swallow and leave him the leafwood anyway, because that's still a fair trade. And oh, hi, Burble, here's your stick back. Oh, we should leave now. Yeah, yeah.
I do like Burble, though.
I do too.
Yeah,
He's funny.
He's a great guy, a bit light on the morality side. I mean, even if the Gray One was a liar and thief, I'm not sure Burble's actions were justified. You know, two lefts don't make a right, they make a backwards.
Yes.
Yeah, but he wants to leave and explore the world. And hey, this is a good chance. Where are we going? Oh, we're going off to fight a bunch of foxes to get our tapestry back. Well, you have fun with that. But no, the kid. We have all four now, and the kids take off. And is this a kayak? I'm not sure what this is supposed to be because we know the Gruesome have canoes. That's what they build. It's in artwork. It's in the cartoon. So, but we're told that the water voles build their craft light and more instead of flowing through the water, they sit on top of it. And the only thing that I could think of that would be faster than a conventional canoe, and I've gone through plenty of float trips in Missouri, is a kayak. Because you can rent them here, and they are darn fast. That would be my guess.
Don't kayak.
No.
So, two Gausum are going down the River Moss when they realize, wow, it's pretty cold. Let's build a small fire to keep us warm. They do, but they end up burning a hole in the bottom of the kayak, and it sinks, proving the old adage, you can't have your kayak and heat it too.
Ba-dum-bum.
Nope. Jeremy, you take point. I need to take a breath here.
So they run or paddle very quickly, and Song looks over to the right and goes like, hey, there's a horrible looking dead end over there. We should totally go there.
I always have such a visceral reaction to this when I read it, like the insects like flying at their faces so hard that
One like flies right into Song's eyeball, like
yes.
And so they go down to Miserable,ville, and the voles are like, they could have gone down that way. Nah, only idiots would go down that way. Let's keep moving. And so they're like, well, let's all rest and not post any lookouts. And then we get some ferrets who talk like idiots, and one of them says, we'll make them death still.
Yeah, all four kids don't think to post a watch. And
this happens a lot.
Yeah, if Song's raised in this big roving family, you'd figure one adult would be awake during the night at all times.
Maybe she's used to just Jangler taking care of that, and so like Dan, I can definitely see not thinking about it. Dippler honestly really should think about it, since that's what got him in trouble in the beginning of the book. Burble probably wouldn't think about it because he's led a sheltered life among wacky dudes, and like I said, with Song, I think she probably would have just gotten used to Jangler taking care of that, not really thought about it.
But yes, we have a gang of ferrets led by, what's his name?
Raventail.
Raventail. Yep.
Okay, props. That's a decent name. Yeah.
Although he sounds more like a bird that stole a couple of feathers and was like, I am Raventail now.
He found the remains of Ironbeak and...
Oh no, he does the bird equivalent of Ergen Nagru.
I killed
am the
this
Raven
bird
Sparrow.
and made his name my own. You found him dead on the ground. Shut up.
So, it's not like it hasn't already been done before.
Ergen's in the afterlife, like, finally someone takes one of my ideas.
That's not something to be proud of, hon.
Shut up.
But yes.
So, is there a reason that Jake makes these ferrets talk sort of like, I don't know, in a very dumbed down sort of way. Because I mean, we have met ferrets who are eloquent like Zigu, and ferrets that at least sound like humans, like Kilconey.
Well, my guess is that they took they were a foreign group that moved into the area that took their common lessons from the Flitcheye
Okay.
Or
Yep.
the painted ones.
or the God Tribe.
Or the contract. These guys couldn't hold their liquor, so they had to leave God Tribe House.
Oh man.
While Redwall is still under siege, they're like, "Hey, it's the midsummer point, right? Yeah. Aren't we supposed to feast? Oh yeah, let's do that."
I was hungry when I started reading this section. I think I have
Oh
to take
my
a break.
God. Yeah.
It's like, no, I need to go get food.
And the Dibbins are making a special pie for Skipper. Aww.
And they're making it inside the oven. I've always wanted to
Literally.
try. I've always wanted to try Dibbins in the oven. Is it anything like pigs in a blanket?
Dark.
Dibbin, it's what's for dinner.
Yes. Never play around in household appliances. One time, my sister and I, we were very small, got into the dryer and started playing. And my mom, when she found us in there, freaked out, dragged us out, and gave us like a 30-minute lecture on why we never should play in household appliances.
Kids, don't do what Dwapple does.
Right.
Yes, they're trying to make Skipper a pie that is full of, let me see
Shrimp?
here.
It's like shrimp and berries or something. Like, ugh.
Shrimberry
Watercress.
pie.
It's they're making, let's see, dried water shrimp, black currants, hot root pepper, pears, and radishes.
Delicious.
I mean,
Can't wait.
I mean, aren't as I recall, black currants are a fruit,
Or
or a berry of some kind. So are
Yeah.
pears. But I don't know, if you did shrimp and veggies, you might actually make it a decent, like a pot pie.
See, I hate shrimp, so. matter
Shrimp is
what.
delicious. It's my favorite.
And so, meanwhile, outside, the water rats and Marlfoxes decide to, instead of actually just trying to get into Redwall, they decide to compete with Florian's fun gang, and they're like, we're going to fly in, essentially, where one of the rats tries pulling a Tarzan and ends up doing a George of the Jungle.
Yep.
Where
Stuck fur.
Huh? Yep, stuck fur, where he swings and Florian reaches out and cuts the rope that he's swinging from, and he just screams before.
Ow.
Yep. And I just love Florian's comment of, hope that chap didn't damage the wall.
Hey, Stuckfur, you alright? Alright?
I can fly.
It's almost as
Somehow
almost
he
as bad-
survives this.
yeah. It's almost as bad as Half Chop's infamous ka-chunk from
Oh yeah,
Loamhead.
I was
when we
thinking
get
about
there.
that too.
But we're outright told he lost all his teeth in the hit.
And a lot of his brain too, apparently. He's just constantly stumbling around with his arms still up in the air, trying to hold a rope that's not there anymore, going,
Oh,
this is
medic!
this is worse than what happened to Clog and Martin the Warrior. He just got like minor like insanity. Stuckfur is gonna. They might as well just put him down at this point. Good lord.
Medic!
To quote Portal 2, there's a very small chance that you have very significant brain damage.
So he's gonna definitely hit his out-of-pocket maximum on dentistry from
Oh,
burning
yeah.
HR there. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the rest of the Marlfoxes are like, how is he alive? And then Florian's reward for giving Stuckfur the ultimate concussion is being left hungry outside for like 50 hours.
He.
Poor guy.
We're told that the Goysome shrews who are with him, like, oh yeah, they made a bunch of food, but we ate it.
And inside, they're like, hey, we should get Florian that gross sounding pie.
Oh, When did he become like the butt of everybody's joke here?
I know, he helped. He did something very useful. He caused one of the rats to slam into the wall.
He did annoy a lot of people, though.
This is true.
Like me. My opinion
Like
counts here. I'm annoyed.
And then the Marlfoxes, as they're talking, are like, well, maybe we should just cut our losses and leave. And Vannon's like, yeah, about that. So I thought it was a good idea to leave one water rat to watch Mocan. One water rat, you shut up.
You
And
didn't think
she's
about
like,
it at
I
all.
went to go see how that turned out. How did it turn out, Vannon? Funny story. So, all those shrew boats we stole? Yeah? Well, they're splinters now.
Huh.
And, the tapestry, that's gone too. So is Mocan and everyone else. So we don't look like total morons. Let's try and take over Redwall so we have something to show for our efforts.
Why? All we really have to do is go back to the island. We outnumber Mocan and have a better share of the rats, and we can make a pincushion out of him. No, I'm serious. They could. They don't have. There's no reason for them to stay at Redwall and go back and beat their brother to a bloody pulp.
I
This
mean,
is true.
it's the gambler's fallacy. The idea of, well, this has to pay out sooner or later. Well, yeah, it'll pay out in death.
We'll just keep putting quarters into the machine. So, yep, that's why they decide to stay, because they also don't really have a way of actually, now that I think about this, how did they get to Mossflower in the first place if the only means of travel that they seem to have were the shrew boats?
How did they cross the lake?
Yeah. How did they get here in the first place?
Plot magic.
Okay. Well, they do say Marlfoxes are magic.
And, none of the kids are waking up, and Martin's like, "Hey, you're about to get your butt threatened. Wake up!"
The worst part of waking up is ferrets in your boat.
And you hear Song run for it, but all I can hear is Bender, "Chase it! Chase it!"
So Song and Dan run, Burble and Dippler get caught, and poor Dan thinks that running away was the coward's route, and Song's like, no, that was the smart thing to do. I mean, I like her comment where he's like, I just ran. Well, don't talk to me about it. I died defending us.
Yeah.
Mark, are you still awake? Are you still sleeping?
Song continues to be the voice of reason, where she's like, look, if you had stayed, you probably would have gotten killed or captured. Now, what good would that have done anybody?
But
You're
my
not
honor.
wrong.
Song's being a really good friend here.
Yep. Song is great.
But my honor. Oh, shut up.
Yes. And this is entirely Russell's fault still.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Because Dan makes up for it in spades.
Oh my god. Dan apparently went to the Craigus School of Fighting People.
Like, this is straight up, like, all the way back to Martin when he's unleashed.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I think it may be the Earthwhite school, because this is what happens when you mess with the really quiet, mild-mannered ones.
This is true, though, with a little bit of Krega, because he rushes at his enemy, loses his weapon, and then starts pummeling them.
Yes.
So Song and Dan start pelting all the ferrets with rocks. Then Dan charges in, screaming bloody murder, swinging Martin's sword around, tackles Raventail into the water, and starts beating him senseless before trying to drown him, all while screaming Reguba. Bloody murder! Bloody murder! And Song is just like, dude, calm down.
What? I mean, it's not like I saw red mist in front of my eyes and, oh, where did all this blood come from?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she pulls him into the boat like, dear God, dude, are you okay? I think so. Huh. Why are my hands stuck in this position like I'm strangling someone? You're still holding onto Raventail. Oh. And
You know?
she's like, I don't think you'll ever be afraid of anything ever again.
Dan fighting back reminds me of a bully kid finally snapping and beating the snot out of their antagonist.
Oh,
Yep.
it's a Christmas story.
It's a Christmas story, yeah.
You'll put your eye out.
Well, I guess everybody's okay, and they managed to cut down Dippler and Burble, who had been strung upside down by the ferrets, and they we got anything else here? Well, I mean, we kind of did beat the crap out of these ferrets, but no, I think we're good.
Raventail's like, yeah, you better run. Ow. Oh, gosh. And that was like 20 of those ferrets, too, and Dan and Song scared them away all on their own.
They get back to the riddle poem because Sam Kim couldn't have drawn a map.
And yeah, so they decide to start marching through the forest while holding the boat above their heads, and Song and Burble start singing, so we get 2 more songs.
And while they're echoing in the boat, because now everyone is deaf.
Yep. And also getting headaches because Dan randomly walks into a tree on accident.
Yet they have to porterage, as Burble calls it.
Mhm.
Carry it kind of like turtling across the land because there's no more water. So all I can think of was run c:/rivermosstrail.exe. You porterage to the next stream. Congratulations. You have died of dry ditch fever.
I want that game now.
Oh, I do too.
That needs to be a thing.
If we have any game developers listening, please make that a thing. I mean, there's already the existing Oregon Trail. I think it would be pretty easy to make a fan game. Please do that.
Well, there's already the zombie remake, the Oregon Trail, which has and I want it to be in the same style as early 90s, late 80s, computer setup and everything with the old style graphics and sound effects.
Super pixels.
Yes.
Okay. But they run right into a big hedgehog who calls himself Solar Tree or Sol, aka Solitary.
And he's awesome.
AKA Sprigat 2.0.
That I was thinking the same
Maybe.
thing, yeah.
And he has a traumatic backstory because who doesn't in these books?
Yes. Although I kind of like the way he has a more realistic way of handling grief. Like he cries for a long time about his, presumably murdered family. Maybe one of them is not murdered. We will never ever find out, I'm sure.
No.
Oh. Yep, apparently stormed his home, killed his wife. Oh. And his daughter was never heard from again.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely dead, killed off screen. No way that she could possibly be alive. Nope. Nothing.
What about that hedgehog slave at Marlfox Island? You don't think? No, that's just too much of a
No.
coincidence.
I mean,
It's a
that would
stretch.
be like Grandma Arroyo's husband still alive. Come on.
Oh yeah, good point.
That's a super stretch. Completely impossible.
You got to be Mr. Fantastic to stretch that much.
So Solar Tree has a frog buddy, Groikel. Aww.
Kroikel is the best frog in all of Redwall.
Yes, it
Well,
makes me so sad because they cut that entire thing out of the abridged audiobook. It's like,
Aw,
aw.
I love that. I love that whole sequence of just hey, Kroikel, it sounds like you sleep in a pond. Nope, he kicks me out of my hammock every night and sleeps there. That was so good.
I heard you once ate 4 barrels of grapes and almonds. Is that true? Nope, it was 6.
I think my favorite one is where they ask him a question and said he turned his head as if realistically pondering it before responding with Kroikel.
And given that we see amphibians are at least partially sentient in the past, too many questions.
Well, it says that Solar Tree raised him since he was a tadpole, so this is a nice one.
Fair enough. Because he's not trying to eat anybody, so.
Yep. And I like how Solar Tree is I went through all this terrible stuff, but you know what? Now I got a pretty good life here with Kroikel, and I got grapes and almonds, and As a side note, now I really want a bunch of grapes and almonds.
Yes, me too. It's fine.
So Mokan, meanwhile, is heading back home.
And I love how Fenno is trying to get the water rats on his side. And he's like, we shouldn't follow Mokan. No, rise up. And Mokan walks over and goes, what's this I hear about a strike? Oh, hi, Mr. Fenno, here's a thought. Try shutting up for once. It might help you.
I mean,
Talk less, smile more.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
I love it.
Hmm?
Marlfoxes ain't magic. Don't be so sure. How'd you get there? Magic. What number am I thinking of? Pain. Pulls out tree branch. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, you're magic. You're magic.
And yeah, I mean, to their credit, the Water Rats, they're devoted to their bosses because at one point they kind of bemusically tolerate this.
Mhm.
Fenno trying to convert them. He's like, you know what? We're not gonna. No. They pay our dental. Sorry.
Dental plan. Stuckford needs braces. Dental plan. Stuckford needs braces.
Stuckford needs plastic surgery.
Stuckford needs dentures.
And
Yeah.
neurotherapy.
Fix a dent. Oh god. So yeah, that doesn't turn out too well for Fenno. But
Nope. Mokan beats him.
meanwhile, Lady Palpatine is visiting the slave pits.
Excellent.
Something Marlfox. Something white ghost.
And so are they working well? Well, yeah. When we do feed them, you don't feed them.
And she's like, they're not growing fat and lazy, are they? I'm like, what slave at any point in this entire series has ever put on weight?
Yeah.
Even Batarangs like, come on, lady.
Okay, I can think of one time in Legend of Luke when Bo and Verg were feeding them. But
I can think of one other, and that was possibly Palom in Martin the Warrior, just because as much as, the pygmy shrews were keeping Palom captive, it's not like they didn't provide any food whatsoever. It's like, I'm sure whatever's left over is up for grabs.
Palom
This
is
true.
Palom. I mean, yes, he was a slave, but he wasn't that maltreated compared to what we see most of the slaves in this series.
True. The
Yeah.
pygmy shrews were not whipping him to shreds and things like that. So
they
I mean,
weren't,
in
but at
most-
the same time, a slave is a slave.
Yeah, I'm
This
not
is true.
saying it's not right,
Yeah.
or I'm not saying it's not wrong. Oh, it's absolutely wrong, and yeah.
Yeah.
But as
he
I
was
point
treated
out,
less bad.
even Batarang treated his slaves a heck of a lot better.
Yes.
Even if he did kind of cackle with glee about the idea of like a fever pit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Nice.
Oleg is terrible. I'm sure he will never get a comeuppance though, because that's not how the series works.
Oh,
So
nope, not at all.
meanwhile, Queen Palpatine looks back at the castle. Hey, there's that bedsheet again. It must be the ghost.
I just
On power, the warrior is coming to haunt you.
this was where she shifted back to like Rita Repulsa and just like, this ghost is giving me a headache.
And yeah, we get confirmation that we didn't already know that Lancer's like, yeah, I'm really doing it to Mom.
Oh my god. I never would have guessed. Next you're gonna tell me that, one of the other Marlfoxes is gonna die.
What?
No.
So Krega, meanwhile, finally comes down from the infirmary to the Abbey proper, and yeah, she's like, something's wrong. Why is I don't hear anybody? Surprise, as Jeremy said. Surprise. Hey, is Krega having a heart attack?
Oh god. Well, they're lucky she's not like warlike anymore and she doesn't like spin around and punch somebody in the face for doing that.
What, ma'am? Why did you punch Florian?
Krieger, you accidentally punched Florian. Accidentally?
But yes, we get another song from the Redwallers because it's Midsummer Feast. Yay!
Yay!
Woo!
And they
Food!
yes, all the food because Krega tolerates it very well. She's led to the table and she gets to sit in the abbess chair.
Yep.
It's like, hey man, why don't you take over the abbey? Look, when the last time I ran a settlement, it didn't go well. Okay. Yeah. Speaking of which,
they do bring that, like, they have a serious question about that later on where they ask her, like, hey, how come you're not abbess? And she's like, I'm content just to give advice and not lead. Just like thinking back to the multiple moments throughout the Long Patrol where she was a terrible leader.
Yes.
well, ma'am, you were the leader of Salamandastron, and your adopted son, who was raised here, leads 1,000-strong army. Couldn't we call for help? No, I'm being serious here.
Yeah.
And we've made a joke out of it in the past where Matthias didn't realize he could have gone to the mountain, but if we're just going by the original book, the mountain didn't exist yet in canon. But there's not. It's not even explained here. Like, why haven't you sent someone to a powerful ally who could take off with even less than half his force, basically kill every Marlfox? And he'd like to do it because they're trying to go after his home.
Well,
Or
for
at least
story
have-
reasons, I think it'd just be too convenient.
True.
For
And-
in story reasons, I have no idea, but that's just
Yeah.
I mean for book reasons.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, they're never going to have a moment where, like, the Badger Lord of Salamandastron suddenly shows up at the best possible moment to rout an entire assault on Redwall and stop the enemy in their tracks and make them run for their lives. That's never going to happen in this series.
You leave my favorite
Nope.
book alone, sir. It has zero problems. I will not hear of it.
I'm not making fun of it. I was alluding to that to that book, actually.
Oh, I know. I'm
it-
just
I'm not
will certainly
insulting it,
never
I
happen.
swear.
It'll certainly never happen in Krega's lifetime.
nope.
Nope. Well, in that case.
But arguably,
you ought to know.
The best reason to not call help from the major military settlement that certainly would oblige is that by the time a Redwall scouting party managed to slip past the enemy, get all the way to the mountain, and not have any real problems of their own, get help, rouse the Long Patrol ranks, get them all the way back, Redwall could have fallen by that point.
Yeah.
It would probably
does-
take a good month at the fastest.
Yeah. Because, like,
That's
even though they
assuming there's
did do just that in Mossflower, it took Martin, Gomph, Dinny, and Logalog a long time to get there, and they almost died repeatedly on the way.
Yeah.
Though, that being said, you'd think after what happened in the Long Patrol, where Salamandastron did basically come in and save the day, that they would have come up with a better communication setup for this and a better, like, working relationship with Salamandastron, maybe getting some hairs posted at Redwall and things like that.
Or even make it, not just a regular, basically a garrison posting at Redwall itself, or just even regular, in their name, patrols. Whether it's like 20 or 40 hairs to just basically check in once a season as they make a trip around.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure 40 Long Patrol hairs could handle all of the Marlfoxes in their group right now. Like, if it was 40 Long Patrol hairs and the entirety of the Gaussum, this would have been over before it started.
And remember, we don't have the Mossflower Holt either, because they're off on their tropical vacation.
This is true.
And they will never come back at the end of the book at a very convenient moment.
No, never going to happen.
Or arguably even closer, although they probably have far less people they can put into the field, is Camp Tussock. Assuming it's still there.
Yeah, though Camp Tussock seemed more of like a retired and younger generation area, because I think they mentioned that, like, Tamo's siblings, they're ready to leave, but they just don't want to become warriors. sort of thing. Like, it seems like that was more of a peaceful area where I'd say Tamo's father would be good at leading, like commanding some people, but I don't think they have any able-bodied warriors there.
Right, and arguably he's dead by this point.
This is
And
true.
if Tamo is still alive, and he probably is,
Yeah.
he's probably retired at Salamandastron itself.
Yeah.
So back to the plot, however, of course the Marlfoxes are still trying to get in.
Yep.
Rats are climbing the walls with grappling hooks because Clooney didn't do that.
Didn't
Patch did, though.
actually Gray Patch did that,
Point.
and it didn't turn out too well for him thanks to the Dibbins.
The Dimmon army.
Oh yeah, that was kind of brutal. Like, so our children just like brutally killed a bunch of guys. Do you think we should tell them that?
No. We'll wait later.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
basically they set up a ladder and they're sending rats over it with Geltor at the lead. And yeah, Red Wallers just kind of push the ladder over.
Yep. We get Bargle and the Gaussum being awesome. I gotta say, we get this sequence to me says exactly why Bargle is the one that's acting Log-a-Log, because he doesn't panic. He immediately takes command, starts fighting back, and once they have like a quick breath of like a moment to breathe, he goes, "Quick, warn everybody inside now. I can continue handling this." He's the one that's like, "Hey, pull over their ladder, take on these guys." Mayon then like assaults some of Geltor's group, and then Bargle charges in and wipes them out. The Gaussum stop this entire assault and corner Geltor before backup even arrives.
Log-a-Log would have been proud.
Yes.
Yes.
Someone promote this dude to permanent Log-a-Log right now. He deserves it.
The only reason the Red Wallers in the feast even know what's going on is that a window breaks in the melee, and Skipper, Jangler, and Russell will rush out to say, "Hey, that's a Marlfox in the grounds."
Yep. And then Jangler, who's like, Bargle just kind of showed me up a little bit. I got to show how awesome I am. Where he's like, "So, Geltor, you said you wanted to fight me, huh?
Well,
Okay. Hang on 1 second. Open that door." And he just stands in front of a door. He only has a sling. He doesn't hold it. He just stands there and goes, "Okay, there's the exit. You just got to get through me."
Go on. Take it from me. But I have to think like, hey, Jangler, 1 second. Hey, someone go make popcorn. I want to watch this.
Roosevelt like, "When am I going to be able to do something?"
Oh, no. I can imagine Red Wallers are putting up lawn chairs and,
This is their movie
continuing the
night.
feast.
Well, just to add to the movie feel of this, so this is a quick fight, by the way. Jangler just beats on Geltor a little bit and then just cracks his skull with his loaded sling, drags his dead body over to the door, throws it out, and goes, "I told them they could bury their own when they started this." Jangler is the 80s action hero of Redwall.
He's a more competent Feldo, arguably.
Yes, he's a lot more way more level-headed than Feldo is.
Yep.
So don't mind Geltor, he's dead tired.
Yep. But at least he wasn't executed.
Adding that to the pun counter.
Jangler's like, "Remember when I said I would kill you last? I lied." So I think Redwall's in good paws right now, because between Bargle and Jangler, they've single-handedly just like kicked the heck out of most of the army and killed yet another Marlfox. And Jangler has killed both Marlfox deaths have been caused by Jangler so far, by the way.
Yep, Jangler goes up to the Abbot ramparts, makes sure the Marlfoxes can see him, and then he slides basically one string of abacus beads. He slides a second one over and just grins down at Vannon. 2 deaths.
Yep.
Okay.
And I love the two where he picks up Geltor's axe and tosses it over to Traglo, and he's like, "Here, put that to good use chopping wood."
Yep.
Just total contempt. And I like, honestly, the best part of it is just I told them they could bury their own when they started this and just tossing the body outside.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's so good. So, Bargle and Jangler, MVPs.
Chapter 21 begins with strong, sultry. Rah! The chapter art is literally holding the entire boat swallow over his shoulders like it's nothing.
Yep. He's like Andre the Giant sized.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Inigo. I jogged his memory too hard. So they run into a bandit trio of, I think it's like a ferret and two weasels. Oh, a stoat and two weasels.
Okay, point. I am doing a minor spoiler of the next book. These are Jessica.
These are what?
Jessica Furman.
Oh, okay.
How they're described is pretty much what we're going to see in the next book.
Oh, interesting.
Stripes of yellow clay and green plant dye swat the trio from ears to footpaws. Now, again, minor spoilers for the next book, but there are vermin factions in that one that are described as, no matter which of the Jessica tribes they belong to, they have iconic tattoos to mark them as such. These are Jessica.
I didn't think about that. That's a good point. I do have to say, though, they are not very bright. Because what kind of bandit trio sees a group of armed creatures led by a giant hedgehog who is big enough to carry a boat by himself and goes, yeah, these guys look like good targets.
Yeah.
This is not smart on their part here.
And they anger Soul, who does not take to temper very often, apparently.
Oh,
yes, and then he's so upset afterwards.
He's such a
Poor
kind
guy.
soul. He's so nice.
Oh man, it reminds me. Okay, there was one time I was working at a camp as a counselor, and we were all on the bus. It was me and another counselor and a group of kids, and this dude was creeping on one of my girls, and I read him the riot act, and then later when we got off the bus, I was just like shaking so hard. I'm like, yeah, someone else is gonna have to lead the way back because I think I'm gonna fall over. Like.
So yeah, the vermin cheese it and get out of there, and I'm sure we won't see them again.
No,
Totally.
never ever.
Of course not.
No, they wouldn't be that stupid.
Wait, didn't we just say they were? Never mind.
Yep.
Spoilers.
They then meet the second character in this series so far to be named Goody.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's just a solitary female otter who lives on her own. And she's friends with Soul because you need friends now and then, even if you're living by yourself. Like me. No. I'm kidding.
All right, well, that got sad real fast.
Yeah.
And I like Goody Brim, and I like it when our heroes get to meet kind creatures during their travels.
Yeah, and these guys are so nice. They're just like, oh, you're so young and you must be hungry, and I wish you the best of luck on your, they're just so nice.
Goodbye. Have fun storming the castle.
But yeah, Good Wife Brim is every grandmother that bakes ever.
Yep. So
yeah, they send them on their way, and they also explain that. But Dan's like, yeah, I can't help feeling sorry for Soul and Goody. They lead a lonely life, but they love company, and they want us to stay longer. They think they'd be better off living at Redwall Abbey. Well, Dan, you weren't part of Redwall before your mom died. And, some of them choose to live alone, even if they do like visitors.
Yep. And
Yeah,
Song points
I'm that
that
way.
out to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I choose to live alone. I love to be with certain people. Generally, I hate people as a rule because they're annoying. But I do like certain people.
We're all exceptions to that rule, right?
Well, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Hey! Yeah, solitude is not something that everyone understands, but some people really need it in order to survive. It's like, I know for myself, when I come home from work, it's just like, I really don't want to interact with anybody. I'm just going to go to my personal space, just turn off my brain and do something to decompress because I'm an introvert, and that's what introverts do.
Yeah, exactly. Like a day in court listening to people being idiots. And I'm just like, I have to walk home, feed my dog, and listen to a dumb, funny podcast or something.
Oh, so ours then.
Yes, I'm such an egotist that I often listen to a podcast that I'm on.
Well, if anyone is looking for a dumb, funny podcast to listen to, you can also listen to The Frustrated Fans.
Yay, self-promotion.
Shameless plug.
Yes, it is.
So Florian,
Out at
meanwhile,
frustratedpodcast.com.
Florian, meanwhile, just strikes a very noble pose.
Yeah,
in
this
the
is more
artwork
evidence
for
that
chapter
he tampered with historical documents.
Yes, I am the most noble of hares.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he makes the statement of like, oh, all the vermin are gone. They won't be coming back. And we get another change up from Long Patrol Krega, who to this would have gone, they're not gone. And I'm going to go out there with half our forces and kill them dead.
Craig is just like, it could be, but yeah, let's not do that. No, she actually is like, oh, I think the war is over. It's not.
No.
I think she's just saying that just to placate people. I don't think she actually believes that. At least I hope she doesn't, because she should know better.
Yeah. Yeah, Jangler, Roosevelt, and Skip are like, nah, we'll stay out here just in case.
So Vannon is the remaining leader of the remaining Marlfoxes, which is just her, Asgard, and Predak.
Mm-hmm.
And like, hey, you know those ferrets that we ran into last night that we totally chased off? Yeah, we should use those guys. That Raventail guy?
I love how they said they look like they've seen enough fighting to last them a lifetime. Dan really did a number on them.
Are those paint blotches or bruises? Does it matter? No, not really.
The answer is yes, by the way. Yes.
So, but Vannon's like, here, Asgard, you come with me. We'll take 40 rats, and we'll basically bribe them into working with us, saying that they get their choice of plunder, or even Redwall itself, when we totally take it over.
Yeah, and they flat out admit, they're like, we don't care about Redwall. We just want to kill them and leave.
So,
yep.
And, yeah. When Raventail meets these Marlfox, he's like, oh, crap! Where did they come from? Why did they throw powder in my fire to make it green? Oh, you guys want to work together? And because they killed 2 of your own? Oh, really?
So you can die then. Meanwhile, Florian is making more edits to the story.
With another song.
Well, so this song, I'm going to blame the song on Florian. And I'm just like, Florian, are you adding another one of your songs to the story? No, Miss Krega. So he performs this big song and dance thing, and Bargle and Mayon are watching and see him fall. And they're like, So meanwhile, Florian tries to
Part of the
sneakily...
act, part of the act is that he apparently will throw himself on the floor during this dance moves, and shrews are up to no good.
Yeah, well, this I think was an accident. What happened to him?
Oh,
that's the way I thought it was.
Yeah, me too.
but
I think it's an intentional accident.
This is an intention. This is actually a pretty funny sequence. We start with Sister Slowy, who is finally doing her job and checking on her patients. And she's assisted by Rimrose and Aleo, and it's a line on the stairs to the infirmary. Mostly shrews who had slingshot or arrow wounds that need redressing. And Florian shows up in the infirmary.
And
he pushes his way right to the front of a line.
Oh, hi, ladies! I didn't know you were here. Don't worry, I'll come back later.
And they're like, oh, no.
What? You've never reported a wound? What's this kind of wound?
What?
I need male physicians. This is embarrassing.
Let's just say Florian's about to become the rear general.
I love when she's like, sit down and tell us about it. And he's like,
You know what?
Oh, I see. You were wounded in the tail area. Why didn't you come here yesterday?
Careful, Matthias. Let's not fall behind.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Well, we'll get there in the end.
Now,
he's
I mean,
gonna be
he's
the butt of all
obviously
jokes.
Oh
he
no.
took it from me.
So, this sequence, I'm convinced that an older Dwapple made sure this got added.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would agree with that.
But yeah, effectively, when Florian was doing his dance, he fell on a salad fork.
Yep. And Mayon and Bargle walk in. And they're like, "This broken salad fork was outside. You know, it's missing a few prawns, though. Would you happen to know where those are?" And Mayon pulls her stick and says, "You'll get to the bottom of things."
Mr. Florian, sir, what's Brother Melliot going to say when he sees what you did to his salad fork?
This whole
And
sequence is great.
There's basically a sequence where they force Florian on a bed, they pick up tweezers, and they start pulling out all the splinters.
Ow.
Ouch.
And the shrews are dying of laughter instead of their wounds outside.
Bargle and Mayon are my favorite shrews.
And there are just perfect trolls.
Meanwhile,
Oh, before you get to we get Dwapple finally getting some minor comeuppance, where he sneaks into the kitchens because they're like, "Hey, one of our flan's missing. I'm betting it's one of our Dibbins did it." And there's Dwapple and his companions who have dressed themselves up to be Marlfoxes, but they're mispronouncing as Marmfoxes.
Marmfloxes.
Marmfloxes.
Marmfoxes!
And the adults, to their credit, initially play along until
Gerbil was like, I ain't having any of this.
And yeah, Gerbil is basically like, "Okay, you need a bath," and the mole wife drags him off, and finally Dwapple is getting something happening to him.
He suffers a Dibbin's fate that's worse than death. A bath.
Indeed.
No!
Speaking of which, Gerbil and Diggum, they're both still alive, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They must be super old.
This
Because
is
they
true.
were pretty old in Long Patrol, so they must be like they must have like been related to badgers somehow, because they're
Or-
living a long time.
I mean, well, poor Arvin
maybe
is
this
dead.
is- Maybe this is a case where there's another mole named Gerbil.
Could also
Maybe.
be true.
It's possible. Well, I could
Just like a Rip Fang.
I could have swore
Yes.
when Friar Buddy was writing at the beginning, he mentioned that Gerbil was still around. So, like, I think this is still the same one from Pearls of Lutra.
That's what my impression was.
And same thing with Diggum,
Yep.
which means Arvin died, but these two are still alive, even though they were all the same age.
Yeah.
And
Poor Arvin.
she doesn't, like we said, she doesn't take sass from Dibbins.
Nope.
Nope.
So
Speaking of not taking sass from people, chapter 23. So our trio of jerks try attacking Dan and Song and Dippler and Burble, even though they're outnumbered.
Uh-huh.
And they peg Burble with a slingstone and start taunting them. They're like, "Oh, your giant hedgehog friend's not here anymore to help you." And Song's like, "All right, look, these guys are bullies. Let's just frighten them. We don't need to kill them." Dippler apparently takes it as stab them real good.
Yes, that's the Gaussum code.
Yeah, it's a dead enemy isn't an enemy anymore.
Yep.
So Song sneaks around and bashes one over the head and is like, "Okay, good, I didn't kill him." And Dippler
What?
just dead.
Yep.
And Dan would have killed his opponent if they didn't dodge it at the last second. So, yep. And Song just goes like, "Look, you should go and be peaceful. Otherwise, I'm going to turn you over to my Gaussum friend, and you know how he feels about enemies." Tip was like licking the blood off his rapier. So I don't think those two won't be a problem anymore.
No, probably not.
No.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, God. I don't think they show up again.
No. But the Stoat, seeming grateful for being let go with his life, is still pretty obstinate about it.
Don't
Leave me alone, squirrel.
Whatever, I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
I just killed your friend, buddy. I didn't like him anyway.
Yeah, and he's just like super angry that they got caught. He's like, "Can't you see we were joking, stupid?" I'm like, no, you were not joking. No.
Why were you reaching for your dagger? Shut up.
So other than the brain damage they gave the other guy, but
God, yeah, he doesn't even wake up after by the time they leave.
Nope.
Song's like, yeah, I knocked him out and then tied him to a tree and gagged him.
I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he doesn't have any, secondary problems with that.
Yeah. So, they continue on with the Swallow, and now this feels closer to what Sam Kim dealt with because they go into some rapids.
Yep.
And Dan gets Martin gets to have his Obi-Wan Kenobi moment where he goes, Dan, use the Force. I mean, sword. You must go to the Dagobah system. I mean, Marlfox Island.
Hey, you sure you want to rethink that one, Martin? No, I don't want to get sued by George Lucas.
Don't you mean Disney?
Don't worry, Martin. Lucas won't be bothering you. Oh man. So, yep, they almost go over a waterfall until Dan just jams the sword in between two rocks, and then Song decides to use Burble as a trampoline.
Whee!
Bounce off his shoulders and grab onto a tree, and so they all get to safety. And Burble's like, "What the heck was that? Why? Why me?" Poor Burble.
So yes, they managed to get to the side, and everybody's fine, including their boat. And hey, is that an eagle? I think it's an osprey. No,
it fell in the water, and suddenly, I don't know, this felt a little out of character to me. Song decides to be ridiculously reckless and dive into the fast-flowing rapids to try to save this eagle.
Yeah, I just think she felt really bad seeing him try to catch a fish and not being able to fly, and she let her emotions overcome her common sense.
Probably.
This is like the first time that's happened, though. She's been the logical, level-headed thinker of the group so far.
I must save the eagle! Ah!
And she's obviously dead, right?
Ho!
She's totes dead, right? She's like totes dead.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Absolutely.
We finally go
her
back.
plans all washed up.
We go back to the Marlfox Island where Mama Marlfox, aka Queen Palpatine, aka Queen Rito, Queen Sylph, is. She's up in bed, and the white ghost is totally not one of your rats. That's been paid off by Lantern and bellow at you.
So yeah, and she's like, "Where are my guards? Where are the guards?" And Lantern's sitting in the corner like, "I told them all to leave. This is cool."
Hey, so let me get this straight, Madam Lantern. You're giving us a day off? Yeah.
And we don't have to deal with the screeching harpy. I mean, Queen Sylph.
Nope.
And don't worry, she won't bother you again. I'll make sure of it. Well, that doesn't sound suspicious at all.
Lantern walks in with 2 glasses of wine.
And Queen Sylph, she always calls for Lantern every single time. Just because, Lantern's, I think part of this is Lantern's just tired of being the, God, I need some sleep. Oh.
Well, did we ever make it a call if Lantern volunteered to stay behind, or drew the short straw?
I think she was voluntold to stay behind.
Okay.
but she does have a plan, and that plan, if I might say, is quite inconceivable.
So
And-
she walks in with wine and says, "Oh, tis a harmless drink made with warm dancing wine and special herbs. It will help you to sleep."
Personally, I think Sylph has provided plenty of the wine so far.
Nah.
I get it.
I mean,
So-
and this is in no way the old goblet switcheroo. I mean, that's been done before in this series. It will never be done again.
Swartz like, now it's my turn. What are you stealing from all of us for?
It's kind of cool though that she's such a good actress because her mom is like, drink from your cup now. And she's like, oh no. And
She's a really good actress.
I
Yeah.
do like that. I've never drank from a queen's cup before. No, that's mine. She's like a child.
yeah.
But yeah,
you can't.
I mean,
That's my cup.
my cup.
Mine.
so I mean,
Mine,
Lancer, I
mine.
mentioned, yeah, one of them's poisoned. Obviously, guys, that's what we're getting at. Lancer, I mentioned maybe she's having second thoughts. This is her mother. Does she really need to kill her off?
She does. This is so. For those of you who are wondering where this is going to be a reference from, on our other podcast, Pete and I were talking about Friday the 13th, and
A few
how,
times.
huh?
A few times, yeah.
A few times. I think we've covered 1, 3, and 10, right?
Yep.
Okay. We never covered. Did we cover 2?
Freddy versus Jason, maybe.
We did. Oh yeah, we covered that too. But I don't
Did
think
you?
we ever covered Friday the 13th Part 2. So we came up with the idea that Mrs. Voorhees, Jason's mom, is kind of like the old Jewish mother that badgers her son into and tries to annoy him. And so Pete the other day was like, "Why haven't we thought of the fact that Sylph is kind of Mrs. Voorhees?" Which my notes is I had this a little bit earlier, but this also works here. "Oh, Lantha, Bubby, stay with your old mother. All your brothers and sisters left me all alone."
Yep.
God, as soon as they get back, she's going in a home.
Don't you try putting me in a home. Come on, Lantha. Why don't you should also go out and see the world. Your brother Mocan is doing really well. So look, you bring me wine. Why is that the only thing you brought me today? Where's some food? Look at you, you're skin and bones. You need to eat too. Like, you're gonna try and poison me? No, I'll take your goblet. All right, yeah, you drink out of my. No, wait, mine's really fancy. Give me it back. All right. That's some good wine. Very good. Is this Manischewitz? And I suddenly don't feel so good. What you?
And that's for asking me when I was gonna get married, Mom. Wow, that took a lot longer than I thought. But yes,
I was gonna say it's like in that Shrek movie where you think the king is dead, and then all of a sudden he's like,
Yep.
But if you missed the reference, Sylph assumes her daughter is so clever that she thinks to poison her own goblet instead of the queen's. No, she poisoned the queen's.
Yep. And you missed the first rule, which is never get into a land war with Marlfoxes.
And never go against a Marlfox when death is on the line!
Oh, Sylph, didn't you know that Lanter has built up an immunity to iocane powder?
Well, yeah, Mom's dead. And so what's her entrance into the Dark Forest going to look like? Think her husband's waiting for her?
All of Swart's enemies are like, tell us about it.
Oh, hi, honey. Where you been?
Oh, hi, honey. Just spending time with a daughter. Not that you would know anything about that.
I
Leave
never
me
left
all
her face,
alone.
sir, now didn't I? Yes, we don't know how Papa Marlfox died. There might be a fan fiction I might cover that touches on that. But
Considering, I'm going to go with my theory is considering how annoying and obnoxious Sylph is, he probably threw himself off a ledge.
we don't know.
Hmm.
But
Sylph was the real lake monster in that story in the beginning.
Nice.
But yeah, we go to the common soldiers, Captain Ulig, the slave master, and the slaves are like, oh well, Sylph's dead. Oh, okay. Well,
And he's like, oh, you two finally did it, huh? No, you shut up.
Yeah.
so the white ghost was the spirit of her mate coming to avenge himself for the treacherous for her on his wife, right?
Yeah,
Sure,
totally.
why not?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mokan's not having a good day either. Because he gets attacked by reptiles and...
Okay, no, it's not just reptiles. They're told there are toads, so it's amphibians. Let's be accurate, Jakes.
Except for he
So,
never is. Like, he just calls them all reptiles.
And so Mokan gets annoyed, though, and he's very upset that Fenno was potentially killed by those lizards and frogs. Because he should have been the one to kill Fenno.
Oh well.
Yeah. It's like,
At least-
I guess Mokan's like, gotta keep my body count up. I gotta kill somebody. I swear, when I get back to Marlfox Island, I'm killing at least one person.
What about your mother?
Not a bad idea.
But yes, they lose Fenno, and I'm sure Fenno's never going to be seen again.
Nope.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Totally dead.
Eaten.
But yes, now all the way back with Raventail and his ferrets, they work themselves into a blood frenzy, and Rudwell's not impressed.
This doesn't work too well for them.
We're good. We march all the way to the Abbey, and we're holding these big torches, and our faces are red and black, and we're totally gonna look fierce. What are they pouring over the wall?
Oh.
Yep. And Skipper says that he's going to go out and just take a look around. And okay, I don't see that ending poorly.
No.
No, we find out he's okay, but at first we're told, hey, we totally killed this big otter guy. It was kind of fun, but he won't be back to bother us.
And
I'm not dead.
Meanwhile, inside, we find out Bargle is so cool, he gets to see Martin.
He does.
Yep. Where he's like, did you guys see a mouse in armor around here? And they're like, no, that might have been Martin. What was he doing? Well, he was going up to that window. Maybe he wants us to look through it. And, oh, look, there's shiny lights out there. Oh, shoot.
Well, maybe since Martin's busy playing Obi-Wan Kenobi with the kids, this is Matthias.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
There we go.
Hey,
Matthias is like the Yoda instead. He's like, look out window you must.
No, I can imagine Martin in the afterlife. Well, look, I gotta go look after those kids. Can you sub for me?
Matthias is like, yeah, fine. Gosh, I was supposed to be your successor. Well, you're helping, see? Don't patronize me.
Well, Matthias, you could delegate to your son.
Madame A was like, I can go tell him where to go. Or I'll tell you where to go.
But while this is going on, Craig gets a song.
Sorry, I just threw a box. I didn't realize it'd be so loud.
I didn't hear it.
Okay.
So yes, Craig gets a song because she's finally doing her job and looking after the kids. It's like, okay, bedtime.
Yes.
I said bedtime, Dwapple.
I'm gigantic.
Okay.
And she goes into this song on how she'll scalp tails and scalp ears.
Yep.
And the word scalp is said 17 times.
Jeez.
Whatever scalping is, it must be very important.
Yep. I do like after they leave where Craig is like, oh, bless their hearts. I'd never hurt them. I would only hurt the people trying to hurt them. And Florian goes, oh,
Lady,
so you're
Mama Craiga, Dwappa wants a glass of water.
yeah. Well, then
said
Florian's like, oh. Florian's like, your scalping is worse than your bite, huh? And Craig goes, no, I only do it to creatures who annoy me and break salad forks.
He literally hides behind another one of the residents.
That was great. So Raventail's forces decide, hey, let's carry torches and climb up the wall. No way can that end badly.
And go see my earlier comment. What are they pouring over the wall?
Whoosh!
Huh. I do
This is
believe
pretty
I'm on
brutal.
fire.
So, yeah, they pour oil or like vegetable oil and flammable stuff over the wall and set Raventail's forces on fire. And then the moles, just to add more insult to injury, drop rocks on them.
And I mean, yeah, they do. Redwaller's comment like, yeah, that's probably I don't like doing this, but no way to die. And there's Florian with a long stick and marshmallows.
Who wants s'mores?
I'm kidding. He doesn't do that.
We get good, quick retaliation by the Redwallers again.
Yep. Like, what do you think? What do you think we are? Do you think this is the era of Clooney, where we are actually facing someone intimidating? I mean, come on.
It's like, did we ever tell you the story about why there were two bells? It's like, oh yeah, we broke the last one on the guy that tried to take over.
That sounds familiar. That's really ringing a bell.
And of course, we find Skipper isn't dead.
Yeah.
This spear's out of my leg. Just patch myself up and going for a swim.
Yep.
Later.
And we have the Marlfoxes are now trying to work on chopping down a tree because, a tree hasn't totally fallen on the wall again, on the wall before.
Well, to be
I
fair,
remember.
the
Go ahead.
Redwallers assume that this could actually damage the wall, and that would be bad.
This is true.
Yep. I remember this tree. This is a good tree. We'll have to wait until next time to see why it's such a good tree, though.
I totally forgot about that until I read your comment and thought about it and went, oh, right.
Well, you'll have to tell me off air because I don't remember.
Let's just say it bites.
Oh. Oh.
So, yeah, that's it for Act 2.
And yeah, this is a good one, and especially all the fork and butt related humor at
Which we will not forget about anytime soon.
Knife pun.
Thank you. I bring them by the spoonful. And I'm sure they won't silverware out.
They will not wear out because you can only use them once.
But yeah, that spoke to you know what? I still like it. Yeah, still good. Yes, the kids are okay. They're not. They haven't gone as badly as Tamo did about losing his Dirk. But
Yeah, at least Dan doesn't lose Martin's sword every 5 minutes.
no.
Like someone I might mention, Dandon.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sure our final act is gonna go just fine.
And no one else will die.
Yeah.
Well, all the Marlfoxes.
Yeah.
We are down to how many left? There were 8. Now we're down to 5.
Yep. There was some good stuff in this section of the book. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, and Craiga proves that even though she's a blind badger, she can still murder things like a proper badger.
Yep. Oh, well, we learned that in part 1, where she's charged through and snapped weapons in half again.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's the one I wasn't there for. They just kind of blended together into one thing in my head.
I always enjoy it when the badgers like snap people's weapons in half.
Yes, I would be terrified if I were her that I would be like attacking my allies, but that's just me.
I think she figured they had the common sense to not get in front of her.
Yes.
Okay, well, by this time this episode comes out, we'll be almost ready for the final part of the book, and then that just leaves Fan Fiction 3! Thank you for that.
Wow.
Jeremy, my red wall.
I don't think he has another scream in him. Sorry.
Or, no, I think he
Snap my
fainted.
neck.
Or he broke his neck again. So,
How many does
I'm
he
sh-
have?
well, I didn't say he
Easy
broke.
takes.
Oh,
I'm
don't worry.
okay.
But yes, right, listeners, if you have a fan fiction in mind that you'd like us to cover, we'd love to know about it. So but you not have to know where to find us. And since Jeremy broke his neck, I'll do it. You can find us at recorderonthewall.com. We are on iTunes Podcast, and we love reviews on there. And I'm going to look in just a moment to see if we have any new ones. You can also reach us on our Twitter account at ROTWPOD, as well as our primary contact email is rotwpod@gmail.com. I am active on the Redwall forums, so is Matthias, and Redwall's subreddit, Eulalia. And, reach out, because we'd love to know which fanfiction you'd love us to cover, even if Jeremy bangs his head against the desk again.
Yeah, if you know something particularly heinous, go ahead and send it my way. I don't think it could top any of the worst fanfics I have ever found.
Now, that being said, some basic guidelines for for our fanfiction episode. If you haven't listened to the other ones, we will not cover anything that is more bloody than the original books itself. We will not cover stories that go into adult things. You know what I mean.
We would like to be at the same rating as our show is.
Yes. Yes, we would. Now, if we end up covering a fic that goes over about that, we'll say as much, but we tend not to do this. Will we do what's known as crack fics in the industry, which is basically people writing absurdly over-the-top stories that cross over Redwall with, I don't know, Star Wars. Sure, why not?
I thought crack fics were more like just the insanity ones.
Not that.
They're like parodies, yeah.
And the other thing is, while I'm not objecting to it, shipping fics is probably not going to be covered.
Yeah. What if stories are very welcome?
Oh, absolutely. As I've mentioned in fanfiction episodes past, I love the flip narrative. I love it more when it's done well.
I like good things too.
That being said, I'm still trying to reach out to the Red Wall podcast to see if we can't get them on in April, like we did with our other sibling, if you give a mouse a dagger. So if you're a fan of that podcast, poke them. I'd like to get their attention. Tell them I sent you.
Dun-dun-dun.
That might backfire on me in retrospect.
Yeah. So, until next time, everyone. I'm Sleepy Can Barely Talk Jeremy. That is Sleepy Can Barely Talk Abbott Pete. That is Sleepy Can Talk Better Than the Good Talkers that I've mentioned, Katie. And that is Final Matthias, who does the good talking better than the other people's.
Oh, so in order it goes Matthias, me, Pete, and then you?
Affirmative negative.
Go back to sleep, Jeremy.